This little girl told her mother she wants to eat walnuts. Mom rummaged through the boxes and cabinets but couldn't find her. Gently pick up the scissors. Scissors. Behind Mom. This woman still wants to prevaricate. You may just be too tired. Unexpectedly, the little girl thrust at her fiercely. Women show their ferocity. The little girl kicked away. She hid under the table first. Run back to my room again. Dad shouted outside the door. Door locked. Got beaten. What Dad put in was actually a paw. Someone, right. The little girl hid in the corner of the room, scared and blindfolded. Just last night, their whole family drove past Fox Ridge, with the streetlights on. After a sudden mist of darkness, they overturned the car. The little girl opened her eyes. My parents were seriously injured in the front row. At this moment, someone passed by. He quickly shouted for help. The man leaned down. He looks exactly like his parents. This moment, she was afraid to think. Now those two monsters outside will definitely rush in and eat themselves. But after waiting for a long time, it didn't happen. She stole a glance through her fingers. A handsome man suddenly appeared in front of me. But men's eyes are yellow, he said. The fox has left through you. Golden reincarnation eye of the village department. Eliminated the little girl's memory. The little girl is trying to open her eyes. I was actually at the scene of a car accident. My parents are already missing in the car. At this moment, the police discovered that the little girl had taken her away. 21 years have passed in a blink of an eye. This bride is a fox. The man came to attend her wedding, but she revealed the fox paws. The man stated that he did not change his appearance. Replaced the leather bag. The bad things I did before will be written off in one stroke. You ate countless adoptive parents' livers. Have you forgotten everything? Bride assault on man. Men are already prepared. This fox. The bride pleads to fulfill her final wish. The wedding ceremony has begun. The fox bride and groom walked onto the stage, accepted the blessings of everyone present. The wedding ended smoothly. She was attacked by the fox bride as soon as she pushed the door, but the strength gap between the two sides is too large. The fox bride quickly collapsed, and the fox bride begged the man to erase all the groom's memories before she died, publicly claiming that the bride has escaped. Due to missing persons, the TV program producer arrived at the scene. She's a little girl who grows up, believing that some unknown monsters may lurk in the human world. The female lead arrived at the scene, discovered a small amount of blood on the bride's dress, indicating signs of fighting, and also discovered hair that does not belong to humans. Go back and undergo expert evaluation. It turned out to be the fur of a fox. The female lead checks the surveillance of the wedding, discovering a man in black with significant suspicion. An audience named Li Lang came to provide clues. Tell the female protagonist, men in black often haunt fox spirit. Let the female lead go there alone at night and take the bus to meet a man in black. However, this Li Lang is not a human either, but the half-brother of a man, also a fox with 1,000 years of cultivation. Late at night, the female protagonist happened to board the bus. The drunken uncle suddenly fell to the ground. The female lead lifted him up. Can't help but be surprised. Uncle tightly hugged the female lead's leg and didn't let go. The bus has left. The female protagonist had to carry her uncle back home, but on the way, he felt something was getting worse and worse. Third year, are you hurting me? It's just that, in this team, it's just that we finally achieved our goal. Uncle, he didn't even say a word of thanks. Instead, he said he wasn't alone passing by. What is it about being relaxed? At a different time now, the bus that drove into Fox Ridge had an accident. The female protagonist looks back. Uncle has disappeared. The taxi driver also said, looking again. There is an additional statue under the tree. There is a scar on the eye. It turns out that Uncle was the one who changed him. The female protagonist rushed to the scene of the car accident. This is strikingly similar to his childhood nightmare. All the passengers in the car have died. Only one student sister is still alive. He understands that the idol saved him. This made him even more determined to find out the truth. He came to the hospital, find the only survivor of the car accident. However, the students kept staring at each other. Silent. He asked again. Students, take a look at the photos. Suddenly, he showed a look of fear and followed me. Hollington. Once out of the ward, the female lead collided head-on with the male lead. He did come to confront the female lead, who came to find the student sister. The male lead refused. The male lead turns around and wants to leave. The female protagonist suddenly threw her bag over. Student life Saturday. Unexpectedly rejected by the male lead. Of course, the female lead is not stupid and sweet. Performed for half a day. Her real intention is to collect the fingerprints of the male lead, to protect student girls. The hostess brought her back to her own home, but she didn't know when the door closed. Student girls no longer panic, but with a sigh of relief, showing a smile. At midnight, the female protagonist was about to go to bed. Suddenly, the light came on, scared him a little. Turns out to be a student girl. So the two of them talked about what happened last night at the dining table. At that time, the bus entered the tunnel. The surroundings suddenly became very quiet. The student girl suddenly lowered her head. One eye has turned into a demonic pupil. That's right. She's the fox demon who kills people. She twisted the necks of all the passengers on the car, but in the version she told the female lead, it was the male lead who suddenly got in the car and killed everyone, still preparing to come up and kill her. The female protagonist came to comfort her. accidentally knocked off the water cup on the table, when cutting fragments, taking the opportunity to grip a piece of glass tightly in my hand. So the female lead is not stupid at all. He had already investigated that the direction of female students returning home was exactly opposite to the bus. Original. The female protagonist also noticed that passengers in car accidents instinctively assume a protective posture. But the only girl who survived was abnormal, lying flat on the back seat. It turns out that the fox demon is the female lead of the audience who provided clues before. The glass pierced into his shoulder, but nothing happened at all. At a critical moment, unexpectedly, the male lead rushed over, so the female lead picked up the students. I left a note in the hospital at that time. Come to my house to pick up what you are looking for. Next is a fairy fight, various teleportation and rolling. What they don't know is, the female lead has already prepared a camera. I secretly filmed this scene. This audience is not just an ordinary fox demon, he is the younger brother of the male lead. Soon, the male lead had no strength to fight back. He suddenly called a halt. The second picture of the paw is finished. He hurriedly left the scene. The fox demon does not allow humans to know the existence of their tribe, so the male lead once again erased the female lead's memory. But has the female protagonist really forgotten everything? The next night, the male lead saw a video of the fight right at home. The female lead is standing on the balcony. He traced the human identity of the male lead through fingerprints. The male lead is curious and random, while the female lead holds a USB flash drive for storing videos. Sitting on the balcony, falling straight backwards, under helplessness, the male lead had to expose the identity of the fox demon, caught her in midair, so the little girl back then never forgot the male lead, including, I replaced death.